Do you like protein, being angry, and violence? Do you wish for the might to vanquish your foes and to protect those you care about? Do you want to play a character with overwhelming strength? If your answer to any of these questions is yes, then you'll love playing a Barbarian. Rage! My name is Josh and I make videos about Dungeons & Dragons for both players and DMs. I love playing Barbarians and I'm sure you will too, so today I'm bringing you 12 reasons to play a Barbarian in D&D. Why 12? Well, it's in honor of that big meaty D12 hit die exclusive to this primal powerhouse of a class. Right from level 1, your health is double that of a wizard or sorcerer. You can take a lot of punishment and smile through a lot of hurt. A D12 hit die means that pound for pound, you'll have more health than anyone else in the party, and you'll recover more on a short rest. Because of this, your role in the party is often first through the breach, trading blows with multiple foes and soaking up damage. This brings us to Rage.
I'm like a tornado of anger, swirling about.
The signature ability of the Barbarian, Rage, boosts your damage output and physical strength while blunting damage from physical attacks. For 10 minutes, you are a war machine. The durability Rage grants combines with your crazy health pool to make you
Bloody tough.
It does stop you from casting spells, but who needs spiritual weapon when your weapon turns people into spirits? Speaking of dying, dropping you to 0 is a feat that many will try and very few will accomplish. You could say the Barbarian has Relentless Rage. Scenario: you're an 11th level Barbarian and the DM has just been pouring on the damage all day long. You finally succumb to your injuries.
Call an ambulance! But not for me!
Just kidding, instead, you make a very low con save and pop back up with double your level and hit points. Like sudden death whack-a-mole. You'll eventually add a huge bonus to the con save for Relentless Rage. Translation: plenty of "I can do this all day" moments. We've been talking about getting hit quite a bit. So, what's your AC like as a Barbarian? Well, you don't need to wear armor like some kind of coward. You get Unarmored Defense. Your jacked body itself takes the punishment. Also, shields are fair game. Unarmored Defense does mean a lower AC than your average character, but you don't care about being hit quite as much, so it all works out. This also means you get to wear whatever you want. Most opt for fur and animal skins, but you do you. And yes, you can wear armor, but nobody will sit with you at lunch. We've established Barbarians can take a hit.
Oh god, that hurt a little, but I'm alright.
But perhaps more importantly, they can absolutely dish it back. Before we get to damage though, is there something you're mad about? Need something to punch? Well, there's these buttons on your screen, right? They look like this. Why don't you go ahead and punch them with your finger or your mouse and, get some of that anger out. Okay, on to damage. Let me be clear, Barbarians are absolute monsters when it comes to damage. Did I mention that your Rage improves your damage? Well, it does. Any strength-based attack, including those with thrown weapons, gets a damage boost while you Rage. This combines with your very iconic Reckless Attack for impressive results. Reckless Attack is basically free advantage on attacks whenever you like. It's a beautiful thing. So what if everyone else gets advantage against you? That's a small price to pay. Speaking of advantage, your Rage grants you advantage on strength checks and saves, while your Danger Sense feature grants you advantage on dex saves. A huge theme with Barbarian is that your strength allows you to interact with the environment in ways that few others can. You can topple a pillar, lift something incredibly heavy, jump crazy distances, and nimbly dodge falling debris. Your physicality is great for both flavor and function, and these mechanics support that class fantasy. And we see this in the many mobility upgrades Barbarians get. Clearly, you don't skip leg day, because while you're not wearing heavy armor, your speed is boosted with enhanced movement. You can simply cover more ground than the average person. This combines with your feral instinct and instinctive pounce to make sure you get into the thick of battle from the jump. These bonuses to movement and initiative are great and evoke the theme of a predator ready to strike. Speaking of, the Wildheart is a subclass all about embodying the traits of animals to boost your power. If you want to play a nature character that doesn't need that stupid magic to get the job done, look no further. I've always been a fan of the bear option for its robust damage resistances, but each option is great. You can swap them out each time you rage, or on a long rest in some cases. The falcon granting flight while you're raging, my personal favorite. Pet allergies? Okay, there's other options. For those just looking to reap a bloody harvest, we have the Path of the Berserker. Your Frenzy ability adds a damage boost to your reckless attack that just piles on the pain. Your Rage also lets you shrug off charm and frightened effects that could have taken you out of the fight. On the topic of being out of a fight, what can barbarians do outside of combat? Well, levels 3 and 18 bookend the class nicely with interesting utility. At level 3, Primal Knowledge grants you another skill. Okay, big deal. Well, you can also use your strength modifier for the skills on your screen now. Call it adrenaline-fueled awareness, call it predatory instinct. This ability allows you to tap into that primal power to boost your utility while raging. So what happens at level 18? Well, your Indomitable Might feature states if you roll below your strength score, which should be 20 at this point, on a strength check or saving throw, you can use your strength score instead. This means that your minimum roll for these is now 20. This is wild and pretty much turns you into Superman. Or perhaps you prefer Thor. Well, then the Path of the World Tree has got you covered. Your pal, the magic tree Yggdrasil, grants you features like temporary HP, that thing Scorpion does, teleportation, and it imbues your weapons with the push or topple weapon mastery. And this stacks with your existing weapon mastery property. Did I mention barbarians get weapon mastery? Well, they do, with melee weapons, which stack both with this World Tree subclass feature and their core feature, Brutal Strike. Brutal Strike allows you to add a rider effect and damage onto an attack roll made with your reckless attack. This allows you to push and pursue, reduce their speed, grant disadvantage on a save or prevent opportunity attacks, and finally, paint a target on the creature's back. The only price is that you're giving up advantage on the attack roll, but it's so satisfying to just Happy Gilmore an enemy, you won't mind. By now, Barbarian should be sounding pretty good. Just imagine playing such a physically powerful character. Your enemy's confidence turning to ash as you shrug off hits that would unalive lesser beings. They'll be praying to the deity of their choice before the fight is done. Speaking of praying, the Zealot is described as rage in ecstatic union with a god. Basically Barbarian with a side of Paladin. Your Divine Fury grants you a damage boost, while Warrior of the Gods gives you a healing pool. Other features will buff a save, unleash a battle cry, and turn you into an angry angel for 1 minute. It's a great subclass for those who want the god powers without the spellcasting and prayer. Thus far, we've talked about your average, run-of-the-mill barbarian. Yes, you're strong. Yes, you're hard to put down. You pour on the damage like ale from a broken keg. It all pales in the shadow of your level 20 feature, Primal Champion. It's only 2 sentences, but this represents the pinnacle of what it means to be a barbarian. Your strength and con go through the roof, beyond mortal limits.
Now I'm a jerk and everybody loves me.
This is great on its own, until you realize that every feature you've got up to this point just got a whole lot better. Attacks, saves, and the DC for Brutal Strike all work off these 2 abilities. You can't roll below a 24 for strength ability checks, and your Relentless Rage is all but guaranteed to work. A creature grappled by you needs a miracle to escape. And the damage from a single one of your punches could kill 3 people. This is why the Barbarian is feared. This is why none will stand in your way. This is why I think you'd have a fun time playing one in your next D&D adventure. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you learned something or entertained, or ideally both. Have I convinced you to try out Barbarian? Is it already your favorite class, or are there shortcomings about it that frustrate you? Maybe enough to enter a rage? Not so different after all. I do believe the Bard is next, but if you think I should cover another class in a similar way, let me know. I'd like to do a bunch of videos in this kind of style. Thank you so much for watching once again. On the left here, the mighty YouTube algorithm will recommend a video. On the right is a playlist with other similar vids. Enjoy.